live. What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's live. Today, I have something special to share with you guys, something that's going to massively help you conquer that stubborn belly fat, right? And for most of us, especially guys, that's kind of the last bit that we really struggle to get off, right? So we're going to be going over why cortisol is the likely culprit for that and why it's a big player with that and how to effectively manage it, okay? So I'm going to be guiding you through the top 5 strategies that I've laid out in a recent blog article. If you want to do a deep dive into those strategies and kind of check out some of my favorite hacks and products and tools and resources, specifically for hacking cortisol and optimizing your results, make sure to check that out. I'll be dropping it in the comments. It'll be the first comment with a link to the LinkedIn article where I do a deep dive into this topic. So, do want to go over a few things today. Let me first make sure that you are in the right place. Okay, so let's make sure that this actually pertains to you. So let me ask you, have you ever found yourself standing in front of a mirror and as you're looking in your reflection, you're noticing that something isn't quite right? You're stressed out, your midsection's looking a bit inflated, and you can't help but feel a little bit defeated because you may be doing the right things, right? You may be cleaning up the diet, you may be moving, but that last bit of stubborn belly fat, it just seems like it's impossible to get rid of, okay? Now, logically, you know probably that stress is taking a toll on your body. And you know that it's impacting your ability to focus and be effective at work, to perform at a higher level, but you're not quite sure what to do about it, okay? And also from my experience, a lot of people really underestimate how much cortisol impacts your body's ability to shed fat, okay? So if that sounds like you, if that resonates with you, then definitely tune in for this one. You're going to want to pay attention. Now, on the flip side of that, imagine a world where stress just seems to bounce off of you, right? In fact, it helps you step up your game, okay? A world where you have the tools to transform that external pressure, that external stress into opportunities for growth and building resilience, okay? That's the world that I want to help you create in this live today and in the article that I wrote, okay? So before we get into the inputs and the how-tos and the strategies, which I am going to help you with that, let's go over the most important aspect of dealing with stress and pressure, okay? So here it is. Stress does not exist outside of your mind, okay? Let me explain. We often think of stress like we do germ theory, okay? Like there's a bunch of inevitable stress germs just out in the environment that we will inevitably run into, and there's nothing we can do about it, no matter what we do, right? And maybe there's more of them in the office, for example, right? Rather than like taking a weekend off and relaxing by the pool, okay? Not true. Stress is a perceived experience, okay? Now I've probably lost like half of you by now, but let me tell you that I will say this. I think it's near impossible to turn off the initial response, okay? That initial stress response, the response to the stressful event or environment, okay? But it's in the seconds afterwards where you have choice, and that's where the magic happens, okay? And you do have 100% choice after the initial reaction, okay? So the meaning that we place on that stressful event is completely up to us. There will be a physical reaction to it, right? It'll take over your body sometimes, but 100% you're going to put meaning to that after, and then your experience is going to be totally different depending on what meaning you place on that event, okay? So I've said this before, this is like the one thing that I try to leave all my clients with and all the people that I interact with is like, hey, it's in the pause, it's in the stepping back and the questioning and looking at the bigger picture, okay? So if you want to be less stressed out, if you want to perform better, if you want to, if you want the diet to work better and all that hard work that you're putting into, losing weight, getting fitter, building muscle, all those things, you want to burn fat at a rested rate more efficiently, burn fat in your sleep more efficiently, right? You need to build the skill of pausing and reframing situations. Okay, and this is going to be, I mean, the benefits are going to be far, far beyond just, losing fat more efficiently, as you can imagine. Okay, if you're a leader, this is incredibly important. One of my favorite quotes from Mark Twain is, "The worst things in my life never happened." Okay, so let's take a step back and realize that stress is created in our heads. It isn't something that exists outside of our minds, and that we do have personal choice to change how we perceive it. Okay. Got that out of the way. Just think about it like this. Think about a time probably where you felt overwhelmed in the past, right? You're really stressed out. Instead of giving into the pressure and becoming like a reactive toddler, you managed to rise above it and choose a different experience, a more preferable experience. What was different? How did you change your perspective, right? How did you take control of the situation? So that's the power of reframing. So it doesn't matter how many stress mitigation, stress management things you do, right? If you don't get that bit, you're screwed. You're always going to struggle with stress. Okay. Take those challenges, take those reactive situations, and make a declaration to see them as opportunities moving forward. Opportunities to be less reactive and just choose to be less stressed. It really is that simple. It's not easy. Like I said, you can't turn off that initial response. I don't think you can. But with time and reps put into pausing in the seconds afterwards and questioning it, 100% it'll start to atrophy. And you will start noticing that you just respond differently the more times you do this. Okay. And by the way, like, this is something that I am still working on massively in certain areas of my life, right? But I do feel like I have mastered this when it comes to my health, situations that kind of lead to me kind of over stressing and reacting. I'm definitely getting better at it with my business as well. Okay. Every one of those stressful situations is an opportunity for growth. So it really is how we perceive it and how we choose to react to the stress that causes the harm or not. Okay. So got that out of the way. Now let's talk about resilience. Okay. Again, you can throw all the stress mitigating tools and strategies and tactics you want at the wall, but if you don't challenge your perception and then build resilience to stress, those things are just kind of like a band-aid. Okay. So think of stress resilience just like you think of building muscle. Okay. The more you work it, the stronger it gets. You can build resilience, by basically, again, just pausing and practicing mindfulness. Okay. Another big thing that leads to more resilience and more consistency is just a general feeling of acceptance and compassion. Okay. So a lot of people that are really highly stress resilient, and there's a famous TED Talks on this, they all shared the common trait that they had high levels of optimism and self-acceptance, which led to more solution-oriented thinking and less being affected by stressful situations, right? They saw stress as a necessary tool or just a necessary part of life, but they didn't have a negative association to it and how it affected them. Okay. And human beings need challenge to feel like we're thriving. Okay. So that's where this bit comes in. We need to challenge ourselves, right? And this has been proven in studies, that again, challenge and self-acceptance go hand in hand, right? They lead more to action. They lead more to solution-oriented thinking. Okay. Your mind and your body are interconnected. They're a reflection of one another. And as you strengthen your mental resilience, you'll also notice that your body has a different response physiologically, right? Cortisol will go down, and you'll notice that your body becomes more resilient. You're burning fat more efficiently at a rested state. You're putting on muscle more efficiently because your body's not like fighting for survival all the time, right? That's the ticket. Okay. So let's move to the physical now. Speaking of the body, right? Let's discuss the importance of exercise and physical activity and increasing your activity levels for stress reduction. Okay. Simple math. When you engage in regular exercise, you release endorphins in the brain, right? The feel-good hormones that improve your mood and give you a bit of an energy boost. It's like a bubble bath for your brain. It's that simple, okay? This is what I call leveraging intentional stress to mitigate or basically dismantle unintentional stress. Okay, so commit to moving your body every single day. It doesn't have to be like super intense, but we should be active most of the day. If you look at the blue zones, right, and this is the areas of the world where people, there's a disproportionate number of people who live above 100. But one thing that they have in common, well, they have a lot in common, but one thing in particular is that they're just moving all day, right? They're always active. They're working with their hands. They're in the garden. They're doing these things, right? So we want to be moving as much as we can throughout the day. All right, I'm going to break it down really simple for you. This is like the minimum effective dose that can give you the radical maximum results, okay? Lift something heavy, do some resistance training twice a week, okay? That's your first goal if you're not doing that already, okay? Other than that, walk as much as you can because that is the sneakiest way to lose weight while keeping stress down. And then maybe once a week, do something that's more like a high intensity, short interval. So 10 to 20 minutes long. You can do HIIT training or sprints or something like that just once a week. Okay. And that recipe has been shown to be the perfect recipe for extending your lifespan as well. All right. So I'm not going to get into that anymore. Just do that. You'll be fine. You can have an incredible physique and you're going to live longer. Your quality of life is going to be better. Okay. So with that, here's some practical tips to make that easier, right? Commit to something every single day. You got to move every single day. Make that a non-negotiable. Okay. Even if it's just short little 5 to 10 minute walks in the morning, right after lunch, right before dinner, that sort of thing. Okay. Get up, do some jumping jacks, just move as much as you can. I highly recommend if you work from home, get a treadmill or a walking desk. I have tons of clients that have done that. It's just a complete game changer, right? Especially if you're working really long hours on a computer. Okay. So anything you can do to make the environment easier, that's basically something I have ingrained in my brain. It's like, how can I make this easier on myself so that I don't have to use a bunch of discipline and that's unsustainable. Okay. So if you don't think that you have time for that, let's just be real, okay? I've just given you the tips. I've given you all the environmental hacks that you need to make it easier. If you still think you don't have time, then you're just simply living in a state of victimhood or a place of inevitability, right? Or you just really haven't figured out what's possible with the time that you've got, okay? So here's my gentle dose of compassion for today. Okay, next up, we've got nutrition. Nutrition plays a crucial role as well in managing stress. Calories, on one hand, are one of your biggest levers for combating stress. Okay. However, if those calories are filled with a bunch of processed junk, or you have unidentified food allergies that are, causing inflammation and GI stress and these types of things, your system is going to be overstressed, inflamed. You're going to be a mess, right? You're going to struggle to lose weight, and you're probably also going to die earlier. Not good. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have enough calories to fuel performance and that they're quality calories. Okay. If you're trying to lose weight, try to establish a little bit of a deficit just by cleaning some things up, right? But you don't want to do these like really crazy deficits where you're totally stressing your system out. Sure, you can lose a lot of weight really fast doing that, but your ceiling for the end result and that long-term lasting result is going to be much lower. You're going to be taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 forward, 1 back. All right. So if you want to play the long game and you actually want to get to your end result faster, then you really want to make sure that you're not crushing your system by going in these like extreme calorie deficits. Okay. And that mainly is because of stress and cortisol. Okay. You can't diet really hard for more than really 8 weeks without running into some issues. Okay, and I'm talking about really, really dieting hard. For some people, they don't even know what that means. Just start with cleaning up the diet, pick the low-hanging fruit, move to whole foods, prioritize protein, try to get like 1 gram per pound of body weight. Okay, and usually that's going to put most people in a deficit that will lead to results for quite some time. Okay. All right, so that's calories, nutrition. Again, make sure you're getting the essential nutrients. You're fueling health and performance. Okay, so omega-3s, magnesium, B vitamins, those types of things. Get all your vitamins basically. Eat whole foods. Eat the rainbow. If you're eating animal products, which I recommend, I think is better, eat nose to tail. Okay, that's it. You aren't necessarily what you eat either. Remember, you are what you digest. Okay, so if you do have any gut issues, make sure you address those. Probiotics, yogurts, those types of things. Okay, make sure you get the right ingredients, address any gut issues, and you should be fine. Okay. Okay, last but certainly not least, the power of sleep. Don't underestimate it. Okay, treat sleep with some respect. If you do anything with the advice that I give you today, at least focus on this one, okay? And try this experiment if you don't believe me. Get a self-quantifying watch, get a Whoop or an Oura Ring or the Apple Watch or something like that, something that tracks sleep cycles, okay? Then do this. Go out for a night of drinks, eat some sugary, fatty foods, right? Scroll your phone before bed, look at screens right before bed, and then tell me how you feel the next day. You're probably going to get a really crappy sleep score, right? And you're not going to be effective. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to eat worse because your ghrelin's going to be spiked. Your hormones are going to be all wrecked. You're going to feel like crap. You're not going to perform better. You're going to lack energy, right? It's going to happen, okay? And then after that, do everything you can to get a 100% sleep score. And then tell me if you don't have the best freaking day of your life, all right? It's going to happen, right? You're going to have a really good day. A good day follows a good night rest, okay? Shit days are followed by shit sleep. Great days are followed by great sleep, okay? A good night's rest is essential for regulating cortisol levels and reducing stress, okay? So practical tips, aim for 7 to 8 hours each night, right? Ideally, you're getting around 8. And really make sure that you're practicing good sleep hygiene. So keep your room cool, keep it dark, avoid screens at least like 2 hours before bed. Leave your phone outside of your bedroom. Get a sleep mask, get some lavender or some essential oils or anything like that. Don't eat too close to bed. Those are the big ones. If you do that, you're going to sleep better, okay? And it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be a game changer. I recently watched this YouTube video. There's this guy, I guess he's pretty famous, but he sold his company for, I think, 8-9 figures or something like that, and basically retired. And then he made his whole mission to reverse his biological age, right? And he's known for having a $2 million a year protocol for doing everything he can to reverse his biological age. And you can actually test for biological age now through testing telomere length, right? And he did it. He reversed his biological age, I think, by like 30 years. He's basically a 20-year-old now, even though he's in his 50s, I think, 50s or 60s, right? And he looks amazing. He's in great shape, right? And he spent $2 million on these biohacking, equipment, and his house is all designed to be like, the perfect air quality. He's got the perfect diet, and he's got all these, hacks and tools and everything. And basically, by the end of the documentary or the interview, he was saying how like, oh, okay, I spent all this money, I've done all these things, and really the one thing that accounts for about 99% of my success is trying to get 100% sleep scores every single night, right? And when he did that and he really prioritized that, everything got easier. He got leaner, right? He was putting on more muscle. He didn't change his routine. He didn't change his diet. He just changed his sleep. So it's really important, okay? Okay. Quick recap. 5 strategies to help you conquer the stubborn cortisol belly, okay, and effectively manage stress and increase your performance, okay. Number 1, the biggest one, you have to reframe your perspective on stress. Stress does not exist outside of your mind, okay. You can't catch more stress germs in the office than you can laying by the poolside. That's not real, okay. You always have the personal choice to change how you perceive a stressful event, okay. So turn each stressful event into an opportunity to be less reactive. That's going to make you a better human. You're going to be nicer to be around. Your family's going to like you more, and you're going to be a lot happier and have a higher quality of life. That's number 1. Number 2, don't worry so much about the inputs as building your resilience to stress, okay? So this one goes hand in hand with the last one, but basically strengthen your mental resilience through mindfulness, through pausing, okay? Self-compassion and acceptance are big with this because it's going to be a rocky road, and consistently challenging yourself. So on one hand, pick challenges that scare you. On the other hand, have a little grace when you don't get 100% right, okay? As you get more resilient, body will change. You will have a different physiological effect in your body because of cortisol, okay? I also highly recommend ice baths and cold showers for this, along with breath work. Those are literally the 2 most effective tools that I've had for building stress resilience, okay? And just completely changing your state, okay? Number 3, exercise regularly. Move every single day. Again, it's like a bubble bath for the brain. It's simple math. Engage in physical activity daily. Release those endorphins, improve your mood and focus, okay? If you commit to that every single day, even if it's just a short walk, it can be a game changer, okay? I forget the number I'm on, but the next one is nutrition, right? Fuel your body for performance, okay? Fuel for performance. Get enough calories. If you're in a deficit, make sure you're still getting enough to fuel performance, okay? You should be losing only about 1% of your body weight each week, okay? Make sure to get your essential nutrients and vitamins. Omega-3s, magnesiums, B vitamins are the big ones, okay? Those are the ones that really reduce stress levels and just optimize your health, okay? And then finally, get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours each and every night. Regulate your cortisol levels, reduce stress, burn fat in your sleep. It's a real thing. Let your body recharge and rejuvenate, okay? That's it, guys. Those are the ones that I've seen that make the biggest difference. I've literally had guys who go and do blood work and they test their cortisol and they put these inputs in and they focus on these things that I shared with you today. And then they go get blood work 3 months later and they're a completely different person. That's an even cooler before and after sometimes than the body pics for me, because I'm like, wow, look at this person. They're younger, they're healthier, and it shows on paper, okay? Okay, so stress, it's not evil. It's not a prevailing, army of stress germs out there trying to get you, right? It's a choice more often than not. If you want to experience stress or not, you get to choose that, okay? Add these inputs on top of that, and you've got a really potent, recipe for just completely dismantling stress and its effect on your body, the negative effects, okay? So feel free to drop any questions below, guys. I'll try to squeeze them in the next minute or two when I'm closing up. Guys, remember to check out the full blog article for the in-depth breakdown on my favorite products, tools, and hacks for hacking cortisol. I'll drop the link to that below in the comments if my sweetie hasn't already. Thank you for joining thank you for joining today, guys. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm gonna hop off and go enjoy sunny Costa Rica, maybe jump in the water. Finn's ready too. That was him groaning in the background. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Adios.